Hey, Kimaya here, and I'm talking to you about anger in the bathroom. It's the only place where the light is good today, so yeah. Anyway, so often the starting point is I want to be less angry. But the trouble is, we go about fulfilling that by pretending it's not there, by suppressing it, or if we're British, by wearing a polite smiley face. I definitely know that one, even though my roots aren't English as such. But having grown up here, I really know that polite smiley face well. But what we avoid or suppress starts to dull our life force. Have you ever wondered where your authentic power is hiding? And what I mean by authentic power is not shouting at someone or being aggressive, but a clear and direct expression of your fire. Your authentic power sits right underneath that unexpressed anger, that accumulated anger from the past. So if you start to acknowledge and express your accumulated anger and resentment, you'll fall into the depths of your sadness. And if you can stay total with that experience too, you will find below all the emotions the roar of your inner warrior, your primal roar, if you like. And you may find that the roar takes on a shamanic form, maybe something like a tiger or some other being that represents power for you. So there are many possibilities here, but the paradox in wanting to be less angry lies in firstly acknowledging, maybe you haven't done this before, but firstly acknowledging that anger is a natural part of your emotional landscape and is to be explored. And explored in a way that reveals your tendencies with anger. So if you or somebody else is being angry, so if someone else is being angry, does it make you automatically angry? Does it make you aggressive? Maybe it terrifies you. That's a very common response that people often don't want to admit to. But it's really important that we get very, very honest with ourselves here. It might make you want to shut down or run away. If it's you being angry, you may be not even aware of your own relationship with anger. It could be so kind of not allowed for you. So it may make you shut down and depressed. There are many, many possibilities. And we learn the shape of our tendencies with anger in the environment of childhood and whichever roles we decided to take on from our ancestors. Generally, the adults around us, at the crucial time when our beliefs were forming, very often those adults didn't have a clear and direct relationship with anger themselves, so our early experiences of this powerhouse emotion were distorted, and it's really from these distortions that anger gets a bad rap. And a distortion takes on various forms, depending on whether it's projected in or out. And as little ones, a great big adult projecting their full force of anger at us can be pretty traumatic, causing us really to want to run or shut down. And often we freeze because running isn't an option. We can't run away from our caregivers, so it causes a lot of patterning and contraction in the body. And also we can take it on by swallowing it, and this can lead to depression and many, many other health problems. So I touched on depression there, and certainly some of the emotional component of the state of depression is the strong energetic charge of anger. Consider that for one moment. Often people are quite surprised when they discover that, because depression can seem so dead, but actually it's the opposite of that aliveness turned in on ourselves very often. Many adults distort their anger in an aggressive withdrawal or a biting sarcasm that's far from funny. Often a common one I've met in clients over the years is dad at the dinner table doing this, so very, very uncomfortable and a very distorted way of expressing power. So it's no wonder that we learn to suppress and avoid, particularly as our very survival as children depended on us following the beliefs formed in our early lives. It's really that big a deal. So how can we recover anger when we've not been allowed to know it in ourselves? So what I would say to you to begin with is it's really important that you find a guide, an anger specialist really, such as myself, that can point the way for you to knowing your unique anger landscape. And it's different for everyone really. It can look quite different. And another way is by coming into a group setting where amazingly we mostly discover a real communion with others who know that now is the time to acknowledge and face our accumulated anger. And one of the group opportunities I offer is a Making Friends with Anger one-day intensive in London, and I offer that twice a year. Seeking support in these ways will lead you to not only your authentic power, but to a place of freedom from the distortion of anger. And that's really what we want. It's that distortion of anger that is just not a helpful way to be in life with it. I'd really love to hear from you, and you'll find links to reach me below this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.